Are you struggling to move past a traumatic experience? You're not alone. Today, I'll share essential steps to help you on your healing journey and reclaim your strength. You're already tapped in, so stick with me for some actionable advice. This may transform someone's life.
Heaven knows just what you need. Let all good things rain down on every planet sea. So lay a transformation, that's me.
Everyone experiences trauma differently, and this is a no judgment zone, okay? Even what one might call just a scare might be super traumatic for someone else. I'm Soleil Rain, personal lifestyle consultant, writer, and motivational speaker. And I'm here to take you through some actionable steps to help you overcome your traumatic experiences. Surviving trauma can take you through a gamut of emotions. And once you've survived trauma, sometimes you can be still shaken up to a point that you don't know what to do, whether you're going or coming, whether it's a fear of some kind, a physical abusive situation, an accident, near death experience, or simply an altercation at your job that affected you greatly. There are some steps to completely getting over that experience, whether it's one or more. The first thing I would suggest and actually applaud would be to create a safe space that you can go to at any given time because the healing journey is not linear. We may get to a place where we feel that we have our resilience and strength about ourselves and we're going on with our daily lives and daily routines, and something may trigger us. So, having a safe space is definitely commendable. Even a safe person, a safe friend, a safe family member whom you can go to and find comfort from just communicating with them or sitting in their presence. It's very necessary, very helpful to have that safe space. Ain't no sunshine when they're gone, only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when they're gone. This house just ain't no home anytime they go away. I would beg to differ on that because once you have survived a traumatic experience, the sun will shine again. Repeat after me, the sun will shine again. And I just want to hear from those in the comments. If you've experienced a traumatic experience, if you've gone through something very detrimental, very scary and traumatic, put a 1 in the comments. Let us know that you have survived and that you have seen the sun again. This may encourage someone. Thank you in advance. And since we're talking about it, subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you'll know the next video that's coming up on Soleil Transformation. Thank you so much. As I mentioned, healing is non-linear. You're not going to go from step 1 to 3 to 12 or whatever steps, and then you're completely out of the woods when it comes to being triggered by your traumatic experiences and the memories of them. You know, somebody may have seen a dead animal on the side of the road and it reminded them of their childhood when they lost their pet. And those flashbacks can come into your mind repeatedly at any given moment. You can be watching a movie and have a trigger happen or a flashback happen, and you're balled up in your bed or sitting in a corner wondering, when will it be over? So it takes time. Time is your friend when it comes to healing completely after having survived a traumatic event. Give yourself grace. Give yourself the time that you need. And don't be ashamed about it. Don't feel guilty for taking the time out to heal yourself, to get to a place of safety, of comfort, because you deserve it. You deserve it. As children, we created those safe spaces, whether it was a pillow fort, blankets all over us, or hiding in our closets or under our beds. When we found that place, even if it's outside in the yard or in a tree house or an outhouse somewhere on the property, when we found those places that made us feel safe, we would always go there. And that would be our favorite place to play, right? But as we become adults, we find that it's difficult to maintain that serenity in our environments. We forget to create those spaces if they aren't already there. But a lot of times as adults, we find those things that are detrimental to our health. We may turn to addictive habits. We may start smoking, we may start drinking, we may start partying just to get our minds off of the things that have traumatized us. And those aren't always the healthiest methods for healing. So I would suggest finding that space, that feeling of home and comfort. And it can be, your favorite food, your favorite movie, your favorite song that can set the tone for you and allow you to feel safe and comfortable. That will be a good start. The second suggestion there. Because we aren't meant to take everything everyone dishes at us and take it until we can not take it anymore and never take time for ourselves for healing. Whether it's someone putting stress on you, asking too much of you repeatedly, you aren't made to consistently go through taking all of that. Even if it's the fact that you're giving so much, you're giving of yourself. Maybe you work in a service profession. Maybe you work 12 hours a day and you're consistently running and going and giving and helping others, caring for others. But it's very vital that you take time out for yourself. Care for yourself. Know that you deserve that time to yourself as well. Another actionable tip here would be for you to take time to recognize exactly what happened in your traumatic experience. Whenever you get to a place of peace, use that time to review and reflect on the experience, from how you got into the experience to what happened in the dynamics of it. Like I said, it could be any type of trauma, whether you're afraid of heights, maybe you found yourself somewhere and you didn't know that you were going to be in that location and someone led you there by surprise. And, sometimes if we recognize our level of communication about our traumas and about the things that trigger us, we can actually avoid experiencing those things again without knowing that they're coming. So we could take time to reflect upon the situation and realize that, okay, I need to communicate this to my partner. I need to communicate this to my family. Because if no one around me knows that I can be triggered or that I can experience a traumatic event without anyone's input, it can all be internal. So these things are very good to talk about with those you care about and those who care about you. Okay. So definitely talk about it and express exactly what you feel, what you need to express in order to have the support that you need. Okay. Because you're not alone in this. There are many of us who have traumatic memories and thoughts internally, and we can have a smile on our faces. We can be traveling, going here and there, working from day to day, interacting with family, and no one knows what's going on the inside. So it's helpful to find someone you can talk to about this, about your inner struggles and the things that have traumatized you and that may still traumatize you from time to time and from situation to situation. And in the time that you're reviewing your past situations that were traumatic and so forth, it's good to recognize exactly What lessons you learned in it? Have you found resilience by experiencing that trauma? Have you recognized that, okay, I'm out of the woods with that, and I'm happy, I'm free, I'm brave. I realize that I'm brave. Have you gotten to a point where you realize how brave you were in that situation, that you didn't crumble? You realize that you didn't fall out and you didn't scream and kick like a baby, but you mustered yourself through it. You've seen your bravery, you've seen your courage, and you recognize that, oh, I could make it. I'm okay. I'm stronger than I thought. It's good to review those situations and recognize where you've found your strength, where you found your courage in those situations, and be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back for making it through because the struggle is real. Surviving trauma is no small feat, not at all. What doesn't kill us definitely makes us stronger and wiser because now we know, and knowing is half the battle to any situation, to overcoming any situation. Another actionable tip that I'd like to share would be to share your story. Whether you are a writer, you write in your journal, or you do a blog, a video blog on social media, or sitting with family, sharing your story of how the trauma happened, how you've overcome, or on how you may have survived a particular traumatic experience with others. Let them know how brave you found yourself to be, how courageous you found yourself to be when you didn't recognize that you would be, or you didn't recognize that you would even be in that situation. But saying and telling and sharing how you've overcome and you've survived a situation can actually help someone else. Something in your story may help someone else hold on to a truth, hold on to a modality, hold on to a thought that you shared. And when they find themselves in a struggle, a traumatic experience, they're able to use what you shared. They're able to find strength because of your sharing of your experience. It's very helpful to share what you've experienced. I have a story, a time that sometimes it can be a lost memory in the backs of our minds. And we may get to a point that we're attempting to do something or attempting to learn a skill, and we don't know why it's taken us so long to grasp it and to learn it. For example, when I was 6 years old, there was a incident that happened. I was at my cousin's apartment complex. They had a swimming pool. It was 4th of July. All the children were outside by the pool. And I remember sitting on the side of the pool and just letting my feet dangle in the water. And my cousin, an older cousin, was sitting next to me. We were just sitting there talking. And I recognized how tall my cousin was and how his legs were in the water up to his calves. So, me being a little 6-year-old, I wanted my legs to be in the water up to my calves too. So I kept scooting and inching towards the edge. Next thing I know, my body was in the water. I was like, phew. I fell into the pool and I didn't know how to swim. All I knew was to do what I saw on movies, and I was just flinging my arms and kicking my legs. And next thing I know, my uncle had to scoop me up and pull me out of the water. I went into the house, into the apartment. The children took me in, saying that she fell in the pool, and I had all of my clothes on, just dripping wet. And I didn't remember that as I got older, but what I realized was every time I went into a situation where I needed to swim, or I went to a beach, or went somewhere, I didn't want to get in the water. I didn't want to get in the water most of the times. And even my parents were like, oh no, she can't swim and she's not getting in the water. So I was like, okay. And I didn't remember until my mom had to share with another family member that, oh, she fell into a pool at 4th of July so many years ago when she was 6 years old. And I was like, is that what happened? And it came back to me. The experience came back to me. And all I knew was I swam out of that water. I was swimming. I was kicking my legs. I was moving my arms. I was swimming. So by the time I was 22 years old, I learned how to swim and I got over my fear of the water after I recognized and remembered the fact that I had almost drowned. And that's what was keeping me away from the water. And I was like, I'm still alive. I didn't drown. I didn't die in that experience. So what didn't kill me made me stronger. It showed me that I have the courage and the bravery to get in the water, to kick my legs, to move my arms. And I learned how to swim at age 22. There is life after surviving a traumatic experience. You can live again, you can thrive again, you can smile again after surviving a traumatic experience. There's no need to avoid situations or be fearful or to tell everybody, oh, I don't do this, I don't do that, and I'll never engage in that. Some things you may take time, some things may take time to get back into the swing of. You may not want to be around certain crowds or in certain circumstances, depending on what your trauma actually is. And if it's a person that you don't want to be around anymore because they were abusive, definitely stay far, far away from them. But know that there's life after surviving a traumatic experience. And in sharing your stories, you can hear bravery, you can hear confidence, and you can build your confidence through sharing your stories with others, letting people know that if I can be brave, you can be brave. If I can be strong, you can be strong. If I can survive, you can survive. No matter how long the trauma lasted, no matter what the situation was, whether you were in something for 10 years, 20 years, and then you finally got out of the situation, know that you're not alone. Over 70% of adults experience at least one traumatic event in their lives. So join the club of brave ones. We are transformers. Transform someone else's life through your testimony, through sharing, through showing compassion. So the next time you get to singing, ain't no sunshine when she's gone or he's gone, only darkness every day, you're going to realize that the sun will shine again. You don't have to sing those sad songs about trauma. Know that you are great and you have transformed from that experience. Thank you so much. Until next time, I am Solea T. Rain. Peace, love, and wholeness. Thank you for being my transformers, transforming lives.